And we're live. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Max I'm the host of Unapologetically Men, and I got my co-host with me tonight.
Lando's in the building. We about to drop some heavy jewels tonight.
Yeah, Mr. Lando, how you been doing today, sir?
Man, I've been doing good. I've been waiting for this night because I got some stuff to talk about, and I'm sure you do too.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So tonight's topic, gentlemen, and if there's some ladies out there watching, we're talking about body count. By body count, we meaning the number of sexual partners a man might have versus how many sexual partners a woman might have. And the phases of feminism have liberated women to behave like being promiscuous is a socially acceptable quality. That they just starting to embrace, and women have created this climate of hookup culture. And they single-handedly have created that type of climate where it's just okay for a woman and just go sleep with dudes and not really care too much about it. Lando, what do you got to say on this whole attitude of women and how they just sleeping around like that? And
I really agree with you on that. I mean, because women have perpetuated, or should I say, perpetrated themselves to walk around like they don't go around being promiscuous and sleeping with every Tom, Dick, and Harry on a regular. And
Mhm.
now with the social climate, they're acting like they want to have that option to actually do that. It started with the feminist movement and the advent of the birth control pill so they could be quote unquote sexually liberated. But the
Right,
reality is, what they really want to be is sexually reckless because they think that that is what men do.
right.
And the thing is, it's like men, there's like a small percentage of men that are actually sexually reckless. And there's
Mhm.
also a small percentage of men that are just hooking up with women left and right. You know what I mean?
Right.
The average man is looking for someone that uh there's a return on his investment into. You know what I mean?
Right,
But
right.
women have this misconception that men are looking for just a bunch of women to be frivolous with and have a bunch of notches under his belt. And from a male perspective, that's just a liability and a threat to his future to carry on
Absolutely.
like that. So it's not the normal behavior of most men.
Right. And there's only, like you said, there's a small percentage of men that are just able to sleep around with a bunch of women on a regular, and these are typically your type of men that are, you know, real strong alpha male traits and alpha male qualities that a large percentage of women go after, and we're talking about your typical bad boys and stuff like that. Uh,
Mhm.
but the majority of men are not these strong, dominant alpha males these days because we have a lot of men out there that have been raised by single mothers. So they're been raised in this generation to be, you know, sensitive and all this caring, and then the women these days, they are much more liberated sexually, but they're no different, as far as being happy. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
they're actually worse off.
yeah, they are. I mean, this whole thing of trying to copy and try to capitalize on male behavior,
Hmm.
it's not making them happy. It's actually making them frustrated. I
Hmm.
was talking to a woman. She was trying to tell me that we still got a long way to go before we're on equal footing between men and female. I was like, yeah, I mean, everything is equal with men and women. That's why they have Rogaine for women because they're feeling the pressure so much that they're going bald just like men. You know, but
um,
yeah, it's like back to the whole thing with the promiscuity. Um, when you actually ask a woman her body count and she tells you whatever the number is, usually
mhm.
double that number, you're closer to the truth. Because no matter
Absolutely.
how much a woman want to claim that she can have sex without being judged, she still don't want to be viewed as a slut.
Yeah, that's so interesting. It's just like they want to eradicate the term slut or hoe or whatever, but then engage in the behavior that's associated with those particular terminologies. You know.
Yeah, I think we need to define what a slut is, because it's like women always want to fall back on, well, men do it too. Well, ladies, let me tell you, if there are any women listening to this, it's not about how high the number a woman may sleep with throughout her life. It's about the frequency. Like I would rather choose a woman who slept with 50 guys over her whole life rather than a woman who slept with 50 guys last month. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
That's
a woman can actually do that. Yeah, and a woman can actually do that compared to a man. I just like for a man to be able to sleep with 50 women in 1 month is that's a full-time job.
Oh, he's gonna need an IV when he's done, because I mean, all his nutrients and everything will be gone. Now, here's the thing: when it comes to men and women and the frequency of sex, men physically have to work harder just in the act of having sex with one woman, and I'll tell you why. Next time you think it's easier for a man to have sex, go get a knife, go in your backyard, and stab the ground 50 times. What's more tired, you or the ground?
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, if you pick up what I'm putting down,
right. I feel you. I hear where you're going, bro. Right. We're definitely putting in the most work, you know, so.
And then when it comes to the orgasm, it's like we're literally giving up our life essence in that one shot.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to really commend the man if you don't turn over and go to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. You know, a woman can have multiple orgasms in one.
Yeah. And it's not the type of orgasms that steal your soul. Women have these little spritz, and you know, it's not the same.
Right.
It's not the same. I bet you right now, if a woman was to experience the intensity of a male orgasm, you would probably have to call the ambulance. Because she is physically not equipped to handle that kind of a rush.
Right. I feel you on that. You know, before we get too far into it, I want to tell all the viewers out there to like, comment, subscribe, help us grow this channel. Like I said, we're gonna bring you more content. Not only do we do our live show on Monday nights, like such as tonight is Monday night, we do our live shows, but then we're gonna start bringing more content on. You've seen some videos pop up or some podcasts pop up where we do an individual podcast. You know, whenever we just feeling we got something to get off our chest, Mr. Lando or myself are gonna throw up a video for you, and you can take a listen to that cast. But we're gonna run our usual show on Monday night, like I said, and then throughout the week, we'll drop a little red pill nuggets for all you guys out there. But sorry about that deviation. Let's get back to the topic though. So the number of body counts for men is not like we discussed. It's not a typical topic of conversation. Like we'll discuss that with amongst our compadres, but we don't take it as some astronomical accolade that we just aspire to.
Right.
That's not you know, it's not it's just a notch on the belt, but it's not what makes our livelihood.
Right. Yeah. It's like women have this idea in their head that, you know, as soon as one man has sex with a bad chick or whatever, next thing you know, it's like we all got to corral together, be like, oh, guess what? Joey just hit up this girl, and then the next day he got with another girl. We're going to throw a party. No, it ain't nothing like that.
Right. we'll discuss
at all.
Yeah, we discuss it, and then after that topic is done, or that
it's like talking about the weather.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, so whatever happened to that chick? Oh, yeah, we did this, that, and the other. Oh, okay, that's cool. And then it's on to something else.
Right.
And the thing is, it's like between men, we don't sit there and like stack our chips and like try to compete about who can screw the most, because we're so busy doing so many other things. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. And you know what's funny? That just brought up something for me. When two men discuss their sexual conquest
Mm-hmm.
versus when two women discuss their sexual conquest amongst each other, she might brag about the type of man, like if she brags to her girlfriend about how big his package is and how well he was in bed, her girlfriend could actually be going behind her back to find out for herself just how good that man is in bed. But amongst men, we don't do that. Like we
Oh
don't
no.
we
I
don't
mean,
go behind each other's back and then go find out how good the other woman, the woman is in the sack just because based on the description that your friend told you. Like
yeah,
if you are, if you're behind going behind your what's supposed to be your friend's back to sleep with the girl he just slept with, then you're breaking guy code. You're breaking a sense
yeah.
of honor, and so you're just not a man. Like you're not a man of honor at that point.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it's like,
Credibility, but women, they don't have that whole barrier of honor between them. So you will see a girl describe her sexual conquest, and then her girlfriend secretly goes behind her back to go find out for herself.
mhm.
She
Yeah. I mean,
essentially-
I've been around and observed enough women over the years to know that usually when they share information about who they're talking to,
Mhm.
it's not to put up this whole sign like, "Wow, I got a great guy" or anything. It it's competition anxiety. What it
Mhm.
is, they're trying to make each other jealous to establish who's the alpha female.
Mm. True.
Guys don't do that.
No.
It's like when we talk about who we hook up with, it's no different than seeing the latest TV show or buying a brand new car or whatever. It's not
Mhm.
that big of a deal. No man is thinking about another man's woman. You
Mm.
know what I mean?
Right.
It's just we don't view it like that. It's a small event in time to us, but
Mhm.
to women, it's almost like a female pissing contest. They're really marking their territory socially.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
And
okay, I got with this guy. He's an engineer and he does this, and I got this
Mhm.
amount of money out of him. You know,
Right. And it's funny because like you said, like we mentioned earlier, they're not happier. They're not any happier being liberated sexually.
no,
If anything, they've made it easier for, like I said, for men to gain access to their resource, their resource, which is their vagina. Um, they've made it easier for men to gain access to that, and they're not getting anything in return.
yeah,
Like,
they basically devaluing themselves even further. Just
right,
when you thought that men see them as low, well, now they see them as even less because now we're coming around to realize that we don't have to really work for pussy anymore. It's
right,
it's, it's just about timing. We just have to present ourselves at the specific time when a woman is ready to give her pussy away for her own selfish reasons.
right,
So, with that being said, we know that the relationships in general is a thing of the past. It's just not going to happen. And a lot of these young chicks are behaving this way
hmm
because there's no one teaching them, and they don't want to be taught because they think they know everything.
absolutely,
They're going to just keep doing what they're doing until they hit the wall, and then they're going to think back and be like, oh man, I just rented out my vagina and I got no substance, nothing to show for. How
no,
am
because
I find myself a beta male when even the betas is turning me down because
well, the betas are understanding now that they're not being raised to be wives anymore.
oh yeah,
So that's the era that we're in. Is women are not being raised to be wives anymore. Now they're being raised to just,
they can't do anything. They can't
right. They're
cook.
not
They
cooking.
don't
They're
have
not
time half the
they're
time
not
to
cleaning. Like you said, they have some of them even have poor hygiene. It's getting to the point where, like you said, they're becoming to the point they're getting to the point where they're just diminishing returns.
They're voluntary concubines. That's what they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they, they do it under the disguise of,
Female empowerment.
strong and liberated and
Yeah, female empowerment.
yeah, and it's like, you know what? Women were in much more power when they had the freedom to actually live their lives because men provided them that space to do it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Now they
Yeah.
have to live their own lives by their own power, and it's making
Mhm.
them miserable because it's wearing them out.
Well, yeah, and on top of that, it's the laws of supply and demand.
Hmm.
Back decades ago when you had the uh, before this newest wave of feminism, value of vagina was a lot higher because it wasn't as abundant and you had to work a lot harder. But
Hmm.
start getting into the era where they're saying, free your vaginas and let them go, let them fly. Now
Yeah,
there's abundance of it, and now you just drove the market value down for it. So,
and the thing with the older generation of women, they knew that their vagina was basically their retirement plan.
mhm.
So it's like they had to what's the word I'm looking for? They basically had to groom themselves their entire life to find or find themselves acceptable towards a suitable guy who would take care of them for the rest of their days and provide for them while they raise children.
Right,
No guy was gonna put his seed in someone that has been around the block and back.
right.
So yeah, and I don't know if we mentioned it, but there is this anthem, this song called Body Count, written by Jesse Reyez. In
Mhm.
the first verse, it goes, "You don't got to tell me about your body count. I don't got to know your ex's name. Because if it just so happens that you turn around and ask me, I think you'll feel some type of way. I dodge dick on the daily." Now, y'all can Google that song and listen to it, but basically, she's self admitting that she's a whore. You know what I
Right.
mean? I mean, she's basically saying that she's wearing whoredom as a badge of like a
Mhm.
rite of passage that she's an independent woman because she dodges dick on a daily.
Isn't that isn't that funny? It's like it's like a badge of honor or or rite of passage, like you said. But for men, a rite of passage or a badge of honor is not getting vagina all day long.
No,
That's not
no,
even in the
it's how
realm
men
of our.
establish themselves.
Yeah,
Men
it's not.
establishes themselves by what have you accomplished?
Yeah,
You know, it's like what possessions have you achieved? Did you build a house? Do you got a cool car? Stuff like the stuff that actually shows that you did something with your life. You know what I
right,
mean?
right,
I mean, granted, a car may not be the greatest thing in the world to some people, but to get a car, you have to do something with your life.
right.
You don't
And
have to do with anything with your life to lay on your back.
right. And the only thing I could say even comes close to being a badge of honor in the terms of vagina is to have the beautiful trophy wife. The whole trophy wives uh
Mhm.
type status that you'll get. But that's the closest thing you'll get.
But what? It's like people don't understand what a trophy wife is. It's more than just looks. It's a
Mhm.
woman that's obedient. You know what
That's
I mean?
true. True.
A woman that trusts and respect your word.
Yep.
That's
Trust your
a trophy.
guidance.
And not just that, a woman that's actually kept, because there's nothing worse than sleeping with a fine woman that you can't feel her walls because she's been ran through.
Mm.
If you could put three or more fingers inside of a chick, she's done. It don't matter. It don't matter how old she is. She's just finished.
Lando said it's done. It's a wrap, son.
It's done. She got roast beef pussy.
Oh man. And on that note, let's wrap it up. I want to thank you guys again for checking in, sticking with us. Thanks to all of our current subscribers and our new future subscribers coming in. Again, smash that like button, hit the subscribe, and drop a comment, man. If you like the content, tonight's content, you got thoughts on it. drop us an email at unapologeticallymen@gmail.com. And I'll put that link in the description. I'll even put a link in the description to the song that Mr. Lando referenced tonight. So again, thanks, guys. This is your boy Max signing off with my co-host
Lando walking out the building. We'll be back.
Peace.